What's up, people? VanTX89 here. And, well, unfortunately, considering the way that I was doing this, the first part of this is post-commentary. But, you know, it's going to be like that from time to time. Might as well introduce it. Well, this is the other set of games I actually bought around the holiday season. SmackDown versus Raw, the very first in the WWE series, but not exactly the first, the wrestling game series in of itself. I mean, if you check out the Great Clement's video series, his whole WrestleMania anthology thing, then, WrestleGamia, as he calls it, then, yeah. So, yeah, this game came out in 2004. Each subsequent entry is actually released 1 year earlier. So 2006 is actually released in 2005, and so on and so forth.
Generations. Much can be learned from past generations. For past generations write history. They become history. The past may have already been written, but the future awaits a new generation.
Oh my God! It's SmackDown versus Raw! Sports entertainment will never be the same!
Yup. So, the games that I played, SmackDown 2 and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. I actually own SmackDown 5, Here Comes the Pain. And that was the last of its solo series. Raw actually got 2 games before they decided to combine them into SmackDown vs. Raw, which stayed that way up until around, 2011, where it switched to the WWE title. So, yeah. And I am talking over this. Why? Because, goddamn copyright. That's why. So, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you VanTX89 plays WWE SmackDown vs. Raw for the PlayStation 2. And of course, because worlds collide, hell, it's even on the back of the box. Yeah, we get Power Man 5000 when worlds collide. So, as your first play, they give you the choice of pick your favorite show. For me, it's SmackDown. I came up with SmackDown. But you actually can go back and change it. Go under in-game options. I'm about to screw up because I thought, that's where it is. No, it's under in-game options. And then you can actually go down to the bottom and it says menu type. But for right now, I'm actually going to turn the music off because, that kind of clashes with my own commentary, as well as, kind of runs the risk of getting some copyright crap happening. And I screwed up and didn't... mainly because at this point I decided to have a change of heart and actually go with Raw for this one. But something that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to alternate. I'm going to cover 4 storylines because there are particularly 4 specific paths that you can take in season mode, which is the career mode for this game. So you get to take control of either an established wrestler or a created wrestler. So I'm going to do Raw, then SmackDown, Raw, then SmackDown. I'll get into the create mode in like a bonus video once everything is said and done. Online mode is pretty much just online play with anybody else. Shop zone is where you can actually buy unlockables. Exhibition, pretty much just open matches. You can set up any kind of match that you want. Yeah, this game is actually one of my favorites, but the later entries actually became more of my favorites. 2006 and 2007 are definitely my go back and play it. At least a couple of times kind of games. So let's see what we can do. I already know what the main storyline of this game is. So, right. I almost forgot that, I can actually start off with a championship. But, like you can see here, you have something that says original. This is what their original stats are, obviously. and you can see their average here, their overall based on those ratings from, I believe, 1 to 10. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 1 to 10. So strength, submission, all that craziness. I actually will explain that later. But now you can see season stats, which you can actually build up by gaining experience points for winning. You also pick up money for winning matches, so that you can spend that in Shop Zone or customizing or whatever. So here you can actually buy experience points kits. Here you can also buy like 5 additional move sets, and as well as legendary wrestlers. You can already see who these people are, and you can actually play as these characters in free play mode. You also get some specialty arenas that you can unlock. I was about to contradict myself there. And of course, John Cena's alternate attire, and there's alternate costumes for the Divas in the Brian Patty specialty match, as well as Diva loading screens, as you can see right here. I'm probably going to sound like a broken record later because I actually explained it during the live commentary section. So why'd you explain it now? Because it's the first entry, that's why. And apparently more fan service in terms of the menus. Now you can actually choose their alternate costumes for that. But with all that said and done, let's check out WWE Magazine. You can see me as the Intercontinental Champion, and you can see the World Heavyweight Champion. My superstar points are what qualify me to challenge for a championship. And unfortunately for me, I'm too shy of challenging for the World Championship at the beginning. What am I going to do for this run? I'm going to be doing the title defense run. So, without further ado, let's start this sucker. Good God, 7 minutes of introduction.
Hey man, the GM told me I've got a tag team match tonight. I hope you don't mind, but ask for you as my partner.
Okay, now, here are your options. The top one is to be good. The bottom one is to be bad. So, and that's going to affect...
Calm down, champ. Sorry about not asking you, but the match is made. See you in the ring.
Damn you, Sheldon. And considering Jericho has made most of his career off of being a heel, a bad guy, if you don't really know a whole lot of wrestling terms, it's only fitting that Jericho's a heel. I mean, he's had some clean runs. He's been a face at one point, or another, but still. So now you can see the card. You don't get to play any of these matches. You don't get to watch any of these matches. But here are your rules. Pinfall is on. Knockout is off. Disqualification is on. Ring out off. Yeah. So I can actually go into explain all of those fairly easy. Pinfall, you pin your opponent down. Make sure that their shoulders are down. Cover them. The referee counts to 3. You win. Disqualification, if you do anything illegal, like if there's like an illegal hold or you lock on submission, they grab the rope, that counts as a rope break. That means that you have to stop. If you hold on to the rope, the referee is going to count to 5. If you don't let go before 5, you get disqualified. You hit someone with a foreign object, that counts as a disqualification, so you lose the match. Ring out, that's when one or both of you are outside the ring. The referee will start a slow 10 count. You're not back in the ring by 10, your ass is disqualified and you lose the match. Simple as that. Knockout is pretty much hitting your opponent so damn hard once their damage is pretty much critical, you knock them out. It's usually shown by the opponent being flagged. So I think for the first video, I'm actually going to let everybody have their entrances. But at times, I'm actually going to start skipping in order to save time, and mainly because I don't really care for the theatrics right now. Because, shoot, if you are a fan of the WWE, you've already seen these entrances in real life. But to actually see a render of it is kind of cool. Although now it's very dated, especially with the HD consoles. Seriously, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 got to polish it up more, and it looks almost, almost realistic. And with those, I mean, it still looks kind of cartoony. It's still kind of almost cell shaded or what. God, I always have issues with my S's. Jeez. So, yeah. I don't know. Did I really actually have to explain the rules to wrestling to you? Really? Not that I'm mad about it, but I don't mind explaining it. But, yeah. So, yeah, you don't come out together, even though it's a tag team match. 2-on-2. Not unless you're in a stable. A stable being, well, a group, a team. And then they have their own special entrances. And here we go. The player. I always did like Jericho's entrance, man. It's not as awesome as it was when it was 1999 going 2000. And then Jericho had like this, it fit then. It was like more like a digital countdown. And it just, oh my God, that shit was awesome. But as you can see, there's the Intercontinental Championship looking like a pretty crappy texture. I never really was a big fan of the Intercontinental Championship, but I felt that it did the job, Whatever. Alright, so I'm just basking in the ambience. So we're about halfway through the video, and we're just now actually getting into some action. I'm sorry, guys, but once again, it's like the first episode, and they give you all these options and this, that, and the other. Alright, so unfortunately, the combat system for this is kind of different. And if you played Here Comes the Pain, then you'll notice that it's mostly the same. It's just that now you have like these little clean and dirty meters down here beneath your nameplate. What is up with that? Well, you actually have two different fighting styles now. Well, I shouldn't say fighting styles, but you actually have the ability to perform like unsavory actions. Like you can go to the turnbuckle, press square, you'll take off the covering. That counts as a dirty action. Once you fill up, you can also attack the referee, attack your tag team partner. That stuff will actually build up the dirty meter, allowing you to then push the right analog stick, and then once you initiate a grapple with the circle button, and a directional button input, then you'll actually do a super dirty move, which will actually count as a devastating blow to your opponent. For clean wrestlers, doing like your signature moves, getting these, doing high risk maneuvers like planchas or diving attacks, those will net you a clean boost. And their like specialty is a rush of invincibility. You can shrug off strikes and grapples, and it pretty much makes you basically temporarily invincible. So use that however you want. However, in certain special matches, like hardcore matches or whatever, these are negated. These are cut off, and you just fight like normal. You don't have to worry about the bonuses. In all honesty, the bonuses don't really play into the combat all that much. So basically, strikes are the X button, square is your multi-purpose interact button, circle by itself is the Irish whip, Your finisher is the L1 button. You can change targets with R1. You block strikes with L2. You block grapples with R2. You press triangle to run. Start is your pause button, obviously. Yeah, I think that's about it. And you move with the directional pad. And you taunt with the right analog stick. Every wrestler has 2 taunts. I believe one for up and down and another for left and right. Taunting will actually build up your momentum. Now, to actually talk about what's happening now. This is the first storyline in the title defense character arc, if you will. I don't know, they're all, well, like, I guess scenario compared to storyline. But what happened here is, despite the fact that I'm Chris Jericho and I'm going to continue to play as him, the way the rules are set up for like matches in season mode, at least, or at least some of these matches anyway, is if I go to my partner and tag, with the square button, then that's actually going to make me take control of my partner. You can also whip your opponent into the corner and then press circle and any of the directional buttons in order to do like a tag team grapple move on them. And that'll also bring in your partner as the legal man, and you can pretty much switch out and stay fresh. Your partner actually does build up momentum on the apron. I don't know if you've already noticed that or not, but yeah, that's that blue bar right there by the name. The damage, you start out blue. Then once you get to like moderate damage, it goes yellow. When you're approaching, critical, you'll turn to orange. And then, well, when you are critical, when you're really, really in danger, it'll be a deep red and it'll pulse like it already is right here. Yeah, so you have, what is that, 5 parts on your opponent that you can work on: the head, the arms, the midsection, and the legs. You want to work those over. You want to do as much damage as possible to those to soften them up so that you can execute your finishing move. That will either, depending on the wrestler, actually count as a major heavy strike to that area, or it'll be a submission move to lock them down and actually apply pressure until they tap out and give up. I don't think I did a bad job of explaining how that works. Cool. All right, so now, oh yeah, I did forget to mention this one thing. You can actually move one of the sticks. I believe it's the analog stick. It's obviously the analog stick. I think it's the exact same one, the right analog stick. Dang, I don't remember it now, but geez, I mention it later. But you can move the stick in order to get your partner to help out. You can have them attack the legal man or the illegal man. So right now, I kind of forgot that because I actually do need Shelton's help right now. I'm getting my ass kicked. Okay, now I think I did it. Alright, so, and there's plenty of different situations. You can't just do your finishing move. You have to get your opponent in the right position to do it. If you have to be facing the groggy opponent, groggy is pretty much, them being stunned. Then that will mean, face them, press L1. If you're supposed to be behind them, you can like duck around behind them or whatever, run, press the square button, then you'll duck around behind them. I don't think they'll immediately make them groggy, but there you go. You can have your opponent on the ropes or have your opponent in the corner or laying down or whatever. In order to check for your finisher situation, it's in your character select. I never really actually go for a pin following a submission attempt. I usually have to do something heavy in order to weaken him. Damn it, he's going to go for Triple H. Triple H is completely fresh here. And that's the last thing I wanted to do. Standard fare for a tag team match is that you want to beat down on one man. Don't let him switch out. Try and keep him as isolated as possible. Work him over and continue to work him over. If he does manage to tag, then I don't know, maybe kind of beat up on his partner a bit and try and evade him, try and kind of stall until he can tag his partner's dumbass back in because he wants to get back in for some reason. I guess because now he's worked up his finisher and he's ready to go. Yeah. Now, one more thing. Countering finishers. It is possible to counter a finishing move. You have to press both counter buttons at the same time. L2 and R2 simultaneously. See, now this game has a different submission system than Here Comes the Pain. And this system is a bit janky. Now, you can also steal your opponent's finishing move by holding down L2 and then pressing L1. If you know the situation for their finishing move, then you can do it. Now, here's something that Triple H is prone to doing in this game. He'll stall me and then, he stole Shelton's super kick. Really, dude? Really? That's how you gonna do it?
Can he? Yes.
Damn. All right, fine. Here we go. Another rope break. Huh? And see, now you can hold down L1 and then the referee will start counting. Let go at 3 or 4. If you hold on any longer, you're going to be disqualified. If you value the money and the experience points and as well as the superstar point game, the benefits of winning, then go for it. Yep, you were trying to go for that finisher, weren't you? Nope. Let's try this. Oh, come on. He turned my move against me. And then he goes for his cinematic bullshit. This is one of the things I hate about wrestling Triple H. As much as I like him, he is my favorite. He's one of my favorite wrestlers from back in the day when I was a kid. But come on, man. Wrestling him here, he's very obnoxious. Yo, tag.
There is no doubt that this
damn it
crowd is getting its money's worth.
Okay, so Shelton set him up for me, and because he's not on the apron, it doesn't count as a tag. I don't do like the tag double team. And this is probably going to be the only time I'm actually going to explain the in-game mechanics, because in all honesty, I'd rather talk about the match itself and the storyline that I'm in, or the scenario that I'm running. And see, because his damage is stop hitting me. Stop counting with him. That didn't count because that was part of the animation. See, some characters actually have, they have animations that go on. See, now with this submission system, you can tap X rapidly in order to apply pressure. The more pressure that you add, the more damage that you're going to do to them. So when your opponent's in this orange, it sets them up. You can actually win with your opponent just being orange, but what I like to do is actually get them in the red. And if you've done enough damage to them already, then you can actually, put them in the red, like what I'm going to do after this. Now, with this, you can hit any button repeatedly in order to bring the meter closer to the red. That'll make them tap out. If they manage to make it to the rope, then it'll count as a rope break, and then, there we go. The only time...
The endurance of these men
is
almost superhuman.
One of these guys builds momentum.
Okay, that's enough to put him down. But unfortunately, the more damage that you take to a certain body part, you'll start to favor it after a while. When you're red, then you're actually going to get upset. I mean, you're not going to get upset. You're going to get kind of lethargic. It's kind of going to mess with you. If you messed up your arm, you're going to hold your arm. If your head's taking too much damage, you're going to grab your head and reel a bit. You're just going to favor whatever. It also affects how you move in later games. You take too much damage to your leg, you're going to limp. If you take too much damage to your arm, you're not really going to be able to do any of your grapples, any of your better grapple moves as effectively as you would when you're healthy.
You've got to wonder what's going through the minds of these competitors.
You don't really have a stamina system in this game. It doesn't really affect you. Ooh, here we go. This is what I was talking about. Damn, look how we broke him in half. Now that constitutes a pin right there. When you see him absolutely flat like that, and that's poor collision detection. That's why the stomp didn't break up the pin. But yeah, that's how you get that down. So, okay. So, like I was saying, there are 4 storylines. Good God, I couldn't finish that. Title defense, a title challenge, Diva Collection, which is pretty much building up managers as you go throughout the year, and of course just a normal storyline. So I'll try and do one complete run of each, or as complete as I can make it. So that was an interesting way to start. I hope you guys enjoyed. So I'll see you guys for part 2.